I'd like to give you some very important information about our acquisition criteria. What we're looking for is a very specific niche of commercial properties. We're not looking for single-family homes. We're not looking for uh, large projects. We're looking for a very specific type of property that fits this particular criteria. The more you concentrate on this particular criteria, the better off your results are going to be, the more quickly they're going to be reviewed, accepted, analyzed, and followed up on in order for us to acquire them, which results in a check coming to you. Let me give you some insight, if you don't mind, on exactly what types of properties we're looking for and possibly some of the properties we're not looking for. In general, we're looking for properties that have a distress or defaulted component to it. That means that the properties have some sort of problem that we're looking to resolve. That distress may be financial distress, that distress may be physical distress, it may be distress with the owner that is going through some kind of turmoil, but something is causing a problem from a distress standpoint. Or it could be a matter that the property is in default. By default, I mean that properties that are behind in payments, that the mortgage is not being paid, and are in jeopardy of possibly being foreclosed on by the mortgage company. We're looking for properties that are a Class C or better type property. Class C is related to a property that's 30 years old or newer, that is in a fair condition, that is in a reasonably good area, and may need some additional upgrades in order to attract the top class of clientele, may or may not have the appropriate facilities on site that your new modern properties might have. We're looking for properties located in growth markets where employment and population are on the up, or at least stabilized or possibly increasing. We're not interested in properties where the population is falling away, that declining, properties that are going through some serious or areas that are going through some serious economic turmoil. We're looking for properties that people would want to live, properties where people would want to work. We're looking for properties that have a significant value add opportunity. That's very important. The value add opportunity means that we have a problem, recognize a problem, and that problem can be fixed by using some of our group's skill, expertise, and experience. Now, some examples of value add opportunities are where the property has above market vacancies, properties that have above average expenses, so that they're paying for more than they possibly should be paying for, properties that have below market rents, properties that have deferred maintenance items where there needs to be some work done onto the properties, and the properties have fallen into a state of disrepair, properties that have again fallen into substantial repair, where may be some destruction, where there be hurricane damage, tornado damage, fire damage, flood damage, things of that nature. Properties that have substantial repair in that regard. We're not looking for properties that need to be torn down and scraped off, but we are looking for properties that we can come in, do some significant repair or cosmetic repair, and add quite a bit of value that direction. We're looking for properties where we can add additional units or add additional rentable space. That may be a mobile home park where there's some vacant ground, or a self-storage area where there's some vacant ground, or an office apartment complex where there's additional place for additional units. We're looking for land that could be sold independently, properties that have additional acreage where we can carve those off, sell those separate from the improved structure, and hang on to the improved structure. We're looking for properties that have a stable and sustainable cash flow at the time of purchase, or could achieve a stable, sustainable cash flow within a 3 to 6 month period. We're really not looking for projects that have so much work that need to be done that it's going to take more than 6 months or so in order to achieve a good, stable cash flow from the operations. We're also looking for a property that's got some component of seller financing or owner financing, whether that owner is an individual, whether that owner is a company, whether that owner is a bank-owned property. All of these we have negotiated successfully, purchasing with the seller being involved in some form of financing. The property type is also very important. We are looking for recession resistant properties. We're not interested in properties at this particular time that are subject to massive downturns in the event the economy continues to be in turmoil. The recession resistant properties we classified into, or we've separated into just a handful of different property types. The first being multifamily. What we're interested in multifamily is somewhere in the range of 50 to 500 units. If it's over 500 and we can buy it within our niche price range we'll discuss in a few minutes, that's fine. If it's below that, that's fine. But we're really concentrating on the 50 to 500 units. We'd prefer there to be some level of occupancy, even though it's low. If they are generating some kind of income from existing tenants on there, that does make it a whole lot easier for us. However, vacant properties will be considered absolutely on a case-by-case basis, as long as we can achieve the stabilized income within a 3 to 6 month period of time that we just discussed. We're looking for self-storage facilities, typically 50 units and up, especially the ones that have additional space to add units to. We're looking for mobile home parks, typically 30 units, 30 pads and up. We're also looking for mobile home parks that may have some park-owned homes. Typically, we'll consider value to those that are built after 1990. Anything that's on site prior to or that's older than a 1990 model will probably not be given any value, and in fact may detract from it because we'll probably have to pull those off the site. But we are absolutely interested in projects with park-owned homes. We're interested in senior living facilities. We've got several of those under contract. This is a major component of ours. Typically looking at a minimum of 50 beds. We'd like for there to be some sort of operation going on in there. However, we also are very involved in taking vacant properties and making them to a suitable senior living need and turning those around. And those vacant properties will be considered on a case-by-case basis. We're interested in primarily flex space, which is in essence an office warehouse combination, something suitable for a contractor's operation, something for a small manufacturing, a warehouse and showroom, something of that nature. But the industrial flex office space are something we'd take a look at. Any other type of industrial property we'll consider on a case-by-case basis. What we're not interested in at the moment are office buildings. We're not interested in retail projects. Unfortunately, the economy as it is currently, office buildings and retail centers provide way too much of an exposure to us for vacancies, extended people moving out and causing a negative cash flow situation. So we're really not interested in that. Our market is nationwide, continental United States, possibly even into Canada. If we find some good properties up that direction, we'll certainly take a look at them. We'd like the age of the property, as we discussed, to be within the a Class C, 1985 or newer, preferred. Older than 1985, we'll certainly consider it, but that again is going to be on a case-by-case basis. The transaction size is very important. We are looking for properties whose purchase price is going to be within the $500,000 to $5 million price range. It's very important for this. It's important for you as a property scout to understand why we're looking at this niche. The $500,000 niche is a little bit too high for most of your residential investors to be comfortable with. That means that when we get above the $500,000 range, your competition is left. Your residential competition is typically will not venture into that area except in certain parts of very high income, very high property locations such as California and places like that. The $5 million cap on it is very important because most of your institutions, most of your real estate investment trusts, most of your large commercial investors will typically have a limit of will typically have a limit somewhere in the $10 million range and up. So the $5 million range is certainly something that they will not be very interested in. That leaves a wide open market for us to come in, dominate the market, and be able to build a portfolio very quickly. These are just guidelines, just to let you know that we will certainly consider opportunities outside the 500,000, lower than 500,000, higher than 5 million, as long as it makes sense. Those again will be done on a case-by-case basis. Occupancy. What we're looking to do from an occupancy standpoint, although we will accept vacant properties, we are very much would prefer properties that have some occupants in them, some income stream that is currently being generated. What we're looking to do in that case, as we mentioned, is to increase the occupancy level to its maximum and increase the efficiency of the project. Our typical holding period is going to be 3 to 7 years. That allows us to plenty of time to capitalize on the improvements that we've made. Gives us plenty of time to get the project stabilized, get the project financing situated, and maintain a good positive cash flow. There are going to be certain circumstances where the property will acquire the property and sell the property fairly quickly in order to generate just some capital, and if we find a buyer that comes along, makes us a good offer. Those are typically going to be projects that don't fit our long-term holding criteria, but are just still too good of a bargain to pass up. So just because we don't initially plan to wholesale a property, we certainly are going to over the course of the company's life. The capitalization rate. You as a property scout are going to be trained on how to calculate rough estimates of the cap rate that the property produces. Our cap rates are going to be very competitive. They are going to vary with the income stream and how quickly the income stream grows. In essence, what we're looking for is properties that are bargains, properties that we can purchase at a discount, where we can achieve higher than typical results because of the fact that they are distressed or defaulted. That means that we're not interested in pristine properties. We're not interested, excuse me, not interested in properties that have good, stable returns on them, unless those properties can still be bought at a discount. We're not looking to pay anywhere close to fair market value. There's more than enough distressed, defaulted, bargain properties out there for us to concentrate on, and buying the properties at a discount is just not something that we're interested in at this time. Leverage. What we're looking for, as we mentioned, are properties that have some sort of owner financing component to it, properties that we can get into without having to put a bunch of our money into it. We will do a cash purchase. However, when we do a cash purchase, the discounted purchase price is going to be enough to justify us tying up that amount of capital. So if we're able to find a property that we can buy at a strong discount, we don't have a problem making a cash offer and closing on it. However, we would prefer properties that have that are free and clear, that we can structure some owner financing on, or that has a loan that we can come in and take over, possibly a loan that we can modify using our loan modification department. But what we have to do is must be able to buy the property at a discount. That's as simple as it can be. What you'll get from us. We understand what we're going to be getting from you. Hopefully you'll understand what your role is within the organization. Now what are you going to get from us? You're going to get quick turnaround, quick contract, and the due diligence will be performed very rapidly. You'll get very flexible and innovative deal structures in order to allow us to meet the needs of the seller, which will allow us to get more properties under contract and closed on, which means more checks coming to you. You'll get a very experienced and responsive team throughout the entire process. We are constantly adding to our crew, adding to our staff whenever we find somebody that's got some skills and expertise that will complement that we're involved in. We certainly will not hesitate to bring them on board. If you know of anybody like that, please suggest that to your investor, and we would be delighted to take a look at them and see if we can make them part of our team. This is, in a nutshell, our Pinnacle Commercial Group's acquisition criteria. And then if you'll follow those, if you'll understand them, if you'll learn them, digest them, it'll make your Property Scout explorations a lot easier. It will get your deals accepted a whole lot quicker and checks ultimately into your pocket a whole lot faster.